No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now. No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now.
Okay, I'll go back to, the famous quote by Lenin. When you have a pre-revolutionary situation, it's when the ruling class cannot rule anymore like it was ruling before, and the working class, the people, cannot be ruled in the same way it used to happen before. We have the situation now in Greece. I mean, you can see that, of course, we have the capitalism crisis, a very, very big crisis around the world, and now it's one of the weak part of the chain, Greece, in this capitalism crisis. And at the same time, we see that they collapse. I mean, economically, the country collapsed. At the same time, politically, parties that used to be the ruling class parties, very stable, very grounded, people from 1974 till now, PASOK and New Democracy, usually have taken the 80% or 80 to 90, 94% of the vote, and all the 6% were going to the other left parties, or maybe sometime they will grow up to 10 to 12, no more like this. And anyway, it wasn't like, even if this growth, they were very, very stable. Now all this have gone. So there's a very, very big crisis, and of course, on the other hand, you have the working class movement coming up again to take the first part in the role is very, very big right now. Yeah, I think there is this embryo, definitely, and it's like it's embryonic, and it's a beginning, but you can clearly see this happening. I mean, how people do not trust anymore that their lives will be changed because some politician will, negotiate with the rich, and the rich will give something, and then our life can keep on going like this, like it was before. There's no solution in practical problems, and people try to find a way out. I mean, it's not this embryonic stuff. It's something that comes from the real need of the people right now. To give you the example, there was a newspaper in Greece, Eleftherotypia. This newspaper was a left, let's say, not left like it was a mainstream newspaper, but it was trying to have connections always with the left people and the social movement and everything like that. It was connected, it started printed after the junta fell, and we have all this period of people, So this newspaper has closed before 1 year and a half. And so what the workers in the newspaper and the journalists and all the people who were involved, the thing they tried to do, they didn't succeed, but it doesn't matter, because it shows how people started thinking. They wanted to make the paper of the workers of this paper, to produce a newspaper and be, the owners of it, let's say. And the same happened in a TV channel, Alter. It has closed because its boss didn't need it anymore. And the workers there, they occupied it for almost a year. They didn't succeed. Also, they didn't succeed, but they tried to do this. They started to be this channel. Every strike was going on, every demonstration in the suburb. They could call this channel and tell, this is the voice of the people fighting. And they took all this information that the official media didn't, show, and they use it. So there was a small hospital in a small town, in a very small town in the north of Athens called Kilkis, that they say that if they don't give the money to the hospital, and if the manager of the hospital play this role, we will take the control of the hospital, the doctors and the nurses, in order that the hospital can keep on. So this is a small embryonic workers' control. People feel that they have to put the workers' control. Also, the workers they have pushed a very, very harsh tax, the poll tax, that people have to pay it with a bill of the with a power bill, with the electricity bill. I mean, if you, there will come the electricity bill and what you have to pay, 50 euros for example, and they say that you have to pay also 150 euros if you own this house every 2 months. And they say that if you don't pay this, we'll cut the electricity. Not if you pay the electricity, if you don't pay the tax, which was ridiculous. The workers in the union in the power and the electricity, what they've done is that they occupied the building where all the machinery was in order to have, and they wanted to stop this. I mean, this kind of things. In the high schools, there are very, very big problems. In the buildings, the schools are falling down because many of them are old. There is no proper heat inside the buildings, so students have to take lessons under really bad and horrible conditions. And at the same time, there are no books. They say they want to make books, but you can have it in a disc, because this is the new technology. So you don't need a book, but you will take a disc and then you bring the disc back in order that the next student can use it, which is very, very ridiculous. And in the same time, there are many, there are not enough teachers now in many schools, also in the center of cities, but also in the villages, where there is no public transportation for the students. That means, for example, that in an island, when Greece is full of islands, that there are 2 schools and there are about 20 villages, and there used to be a bus that take all the students and get them to to school. Now they don't have, and they have to use the farmers' cars and put the kids on it, and things are falling apart. So in a very spontaneous way, high school students, they try to organize against this, and they have demonstrations, and they have occupations, and participating also in general strikes. We have to build a united front of the working class in order to stop the fascists, and we have to, and we try to do this. We have made CAREFA, which is CAREFA is the name of an initiative that in the last month we have made more than 100 of demonstrations in many places, with many people taking part in it, from hundreds to thousands of people, in order to stop the fascists. We say that we have to act together, the unions, the immigrants, the Greek workers, and all the foreign workers. So with three points. The first point is we have to stop the Nazis on the streets. They cannot terrorize the immigrants, they cannot terrorize the left, they have to go back to their holes. The second thing, it has to stop the racism policy of the government that feeds them and make the environment so they can grow, to stop this racist environment. And the third thing is that we have to fight all together as a working class to bring this government down in order to stop to have all this policy. In all the latest gallops, Syriza seems to be the first party, and Syriza people who vote for Syriza gets bigger and bigger all the time. That's good news, because we want the left to be very strong. The first thing is that we have to bring down the government. If we bring down this government and then we have a kind of left government, then it comes to the point that what counts is the answer you give to specific things about your politics. So in Syriza there are many people in basis of Syriza who are very radical and very anti-capitalist, and they say that they want answers from below, but there are also people who are very close to politically to Dimar and Kouvelis, who took part in this. So I mean, there will be questions. What to do with the European Union if they try to expel you? What you do with? Would you start immediately giving money for hospitals, schools, for wages, pensions, and all that things that they have stolen to us? Or Syriza will have a politics of, okay, we have to have some left austerity first in order to have balanced budgets, and then if we have balanced budget, we have growth, and then if we have growth, we can have, then we can give back what they steal from the people, because people don't need this. People don't need, to be betrayed again by a left party. So we build anti-capitalist left, we build Antarsya, we build the anti-capitalist left because we want to have a real alternative from below. It won't be the change won't come from a left government. Even if we have a left government, which will be good news instead of having this one, the change will come from the action from the people from below. If the working class people and the people in the suburbs, in the cities, in the neighborhood of Athens, in Greece, start to organize and try to take the wealth back, to give the wealth back to the producers. I mean, okay. For me, the solution will be for the crisis of the capitalism to fight for socialism, to fight for another society which will be all the people who produce the wealth of there is a society can also enjoy all this wealth and not live under this condition. Because the one thing is that in my opinion, the whole situation won't be solved by a negotiation. Won't be solved by compromise between the ruling class and the working class and the people in Greece. It will be solved in the terms of who will win the conflict. That was the question about the pre-revolutionary situation. There will be a revolution in Greece. We live in a period again of capitalism crisis and a period of wars. We can see it, and a period of revolutions. This is happening, and I think what we need is we need to have organize, to organize the working class, looking in this perspective, to fight to win a revolution. So this is one reason. The other reason that inside Syriza, it's not easy to speak against the dominant and the leadership in Syriza. For example, there are organizations that they claim to be, they have elected MPs, and they claim to be anti-capitalist or radical anyway. And we have also the left current inside Syriza, who is opposing the European Union, but they don't speak now. They don't speak. There is a kind of discipline inside the party, and even if it's not central democratic, they don't have democratic centralism. There is a discipline that they won't speak. They don't want to speak for these things, and so it's easier for us to be outside, to take our initiatives, to have our arguments, and of course we're not aggressive. We communicate with the people in Syriza and also with the Communist Party members who still exist and are still big, and we act together in many things. But also it's very easy for us to have our arguments clearer and open, and not have this kind of discipline. The Communist Party in Greece has had this for a long time now, for over 15 years. They are very sectarian, against the rest of the left. They were very sectarian with the people of PASOK first, when PASOK was social democratic, but they were sectarian with the basis of PASOK. Then they were sectarian with the Syriza, and they are sectarian also with the anti-capitalist left and Antarsya or the anarchists or any other movement. So that was a problem for them, because even if they were bigger than Syriza, when people started moving from PASOK to the left, and we're talking about 2 million people moving from PASOK to the left, they have the position that the Communist Party is not a left party. There is no such a thing as left. There is a thing as communist and non-communist. So it was like it was raining votes, and they were holding an umbrella. So it was so they didn't win. Of course, after the elections, they have changed this. Before they have different demonstrations, they still have not different. They demonstrate separately from the other. Unions and the other parties and everything. Lately they have come in common demonstrations and stuff, and the thing is but one thing we have to be clear about is that they are still big, if, for example, in the Merkel's, when Merkel came in Athens and there were huge demonstrations, the Communist Party blocks were really, really big. Were 6-7 times the blocks of Syriza, bigger. I mean, many people who voted for Syriza were marching with the Communist Party because, they believe that they are against the European Union, and the Communist Party is very hard against the European Union. So the Communist Party is still there. It has many people. It makes some steps in order to be more, friendly to people, so people could be attractive, as Syriza was attractive, because there was clearly a problem with their sectarianism. But at the same time, they have also they're not in the front line of the movement. And let me give you one example to show this. Before the 48-hour strike we had now in Greece, the 4 members in the high elected committee of the Greek public TUC, the Greek public big union, the country union, they asked that there will be an all-out strike against the government. There were 4 members there. They got 10 votes. That meant that the Syriza voted for our position, and also PASOK member voted our position. In the end, even the New Democracy, the right-wing union leadership, said, okay, we can have strike for all the time that that the austerity package is in the parliament, this is the talk in the parliament. And then we said, of course, let's do it. And also the Syriza said, let's do it. So there was a majority there. And the Communist Party voted with PASOK against this in order to have a 24-hour strike, because they say we have to escalate, but the escalation won't be to have an all-out strike. The escalation will be to be actually in words, to talk about communists, talk about all the program, and this is not how it works. The escalation has to come in real life. I agree that we have to put all the arguments against the European Union, but to have in many cases they act like this, but for sure they're still there in the movement. Comparing to our how big we are and how big we were before when this whole thing started, the role who we had in the movement, I think, was very crucial. And it was very crucial in moving things from below, in all situation. I mean, for example, first thing is that the fact that we made the Antarsya, many people the revolutionary left in Greece has a very big tradition. This tradition can come back to the place when we brought down the junta and the dictatorship. This started with a big rebellion in the Greek Polytechnic, when the junta brought the tanks inside and killed hundreds of students. And at that time, the revolutionary left played the key role, because the reformist left, the Communist Party or the Euro-Communist Party who existed at that period, they had the point that we don't need rebellions and revolutions in order to throw out the government. But this was crucial. So this kept on going till the 70s, but never, because you see in Greece we have the Social Democrat. We were reformist in a way, all the time PASOK. We had also left reformism, which was Communist Party and the European and the Euro Communist. And we have also anti-capitalist left. So it wasn't easy for the anti-capitalist left and the revolutionary left to get big, because we have all these other parties. So we take the initiative and we decided with other organizations to have a big front, which is Antarsya, gave a lot of dynamics into the movement. Antarsya plays a key role in the unions in order to provoke the strikes and all this action from below, who put the pressure to all the leaderships. The union leaderships and also the political leadership of Syriza to change their politics. So it has a key role. We played also a key role in the anti-fascist movement. We argued for years ago, when Golden Dawn was so tiny, that we have to fight against the fascists, and organized anti-racist demonstration and try to organize the immigrants. We have now organized the immigrants into a union. The Pakistani workers, the Senegal workers, they have their own union, and in order to fight against also the austerity, but also against the racism. So this is a second part. So it's actually three things. We try to organize in the basis against the fascists. We try to organize in the union so that we have strikes and everything. We try to organize politically. That means Antarsya. And the fourth thing is that we try to organize ourselves in order to do all these things, because the pressure is is very, very big now from all these things happening, and also time goes very, very quickly right now. So there is a need that we can grow with new members. So we have to grow also as a Socialist Workers' Party in order to play the key role. It's a need to have. It's a need to be big right now. So we have these four aspects: build Antarsya, build the anti-fascist movement, build the working movement, building our party.